Guys. So first of all, happy holidays to everybody out there. Hope you guys are having a wonderful holiday with your family and friends. Second of all, I want to talk to you guys about a little known franchise. I don't know if everybody's as into it, I wouldn't call myself a hardcore fan or anything, but I'm kind of into it. Star Wars Rise of the Skywalker is directed by J.J. Abrams and stars Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, Oscar Isaacs, and of course we have the original cast members like Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, oh I can't forget the always awesome Adam Driver, a slew of talented people in this. And in this one, Emperor Palpatine has mysteriously returned, and now the Resistance finds they have to face the First Order once again, to stand their ground for maybe the final time. So, Rise of the Skywalker. And wow, this has been a very interesting journey to say the least. This is it's been a mixed bag. The thing about it is, as fans, we all have aspects of this franchise that mean the world to us. It has, depending on when you saw this, I saw my first Star Wars movie as a kid. Empire Strikes Back has always stood out to me, and it stands the test of time. And I have always, more or less, I've been on board and I've enjoyed this franchise. And even with all the craziness, even with Phantom Menace and that sort of thing, there is a level of love and passion that's always been there. And then we got these new batch of movies. And to say that the results have been mixed is putting it lightly. For me, Rogue One is the best of the bunch. I think that's a fantastic movie. I really enjoyed The Force Awakens for what it was, fan service and all. And then we got The Last Jedi, which has some positives there, but it's a bit of a mess. So Rise of the Skywalker, we have the director J.J. Abrams behind the lens again, and did he give us what we wanted? So depending on who you are, that answer might be yay or nay. So let's get into it. First of all, visually, of course, this film is a Star Wars movie, and with Disney money behind it and Lucasfilms and ILM and all those awesome people, it's gonna look terrific. And for the most, this movie, it has some of the best standout moments I've seen in the new batches of films since maybe Rogue One. There are fight scenes here between Kylo and Rey. Of course, this is basically their story, if you want to put it that way. There are scenes here that will stick with me forever. That scene where they are having their battle and the waves are hitting them and it's like crazy. That is one of the best lightsaber battle sequences I've ever seen. My favorite as well being the use of their force powers when they battle in the desert. I'm trying not to be too specific, but at the same time I'm gonna be a little spoilery here, guys. I'm just not gonna give too many details. So yeah, visually this movie looks really good. We get, of course, with every new movie we get new troopers. We have shock troopers, and the Emperor has his own guards and all these sorts of things. And for me, honestly, while it looks cool, they kind of blend into one another. But overall, the overall look of the film is fantastic, and I really don't have any issues there. The fight choreography, it's solid, and the use of the force on both sides, dark and light, I thought we got a nice mix of everything right there. The acting, of course, I mean, everybody's bringing their A game. I really feel like everybody is very invested in what they're doing here. Nobody is just skating through. So the acting has always been a plus. Adam Driver as Kylo Ren, I mean, I don't think anybody has stood out in these new movies as much as he has. He has one of the best stories as well. We'll get into that in the story. But Adam Driver really had me on board from day one with this character of Kylo Ren, aka Benjamin Solo. He's so wonderfully, I should say, he's well written. He has so much dimension and depth to his character, and so does the character of Rey to a lesser extent, unfortunately. But Rey, I think Daisy Ridley does a wonderful job with what she's given when it comes to Rey. Oscar Isaac as Poe. I mean, Poe is kind of like a Han Solo light type character, but as Oscar Isaac John Boyega, they all do really well here. And it was great, of course. It's always great to see Mark Hamill and others try, like I said, try not to get too specific, pop up. But then we go into the story. And this is, of course, where I'm sure most people will either say they really enjoyed this, or it was okay, or it was trash, depending on who you are and what you went into this to get. Now, if you take the story just by itself, the standouts here for me, of course, is Kylo and Ren's journey, especially Kylo's journey. His arc was for me, the most complete arc and the most well-structured arc over the three films, as messy as they are. And then, of course, we have to address the incomparable Carrie Fisher and what they had to do to close off Leia's story. And I mean, I think they did the best that they could do with such a, I mean, this is a character that's integral to this world. And, you know, we lost her, unfortunately, before her time. So they had the unenviable job of giving this character a proper send-off, and I think they did a wonderful job. Honestly, props to them. It could not have been easy to pull this off. And every other character has a bit of an arc. Now, like I said, the strength there is the Kylo Rey sequences. Now, the stuff with Emperor Palpatine, it was cool to see Palpatine back in the mix, but it felt like it came out of nowhere. Granted, they fit it into Rey's story pretty neatly, and if you wanted to go back to the previous two films, there are hints there when Rey is with Luke and she's meditating and he tells her, you went straight to the dark or something like that. You do see hints of her darkness there, so it fits. But I think the main problem here is it's very hard to treat this story within a bottle. If you take like I'm so sorry to do this, but it's the best comparison I can think of is the Marvel movies. And you see how well the pieces fit together 90% of the time. They give you a complete arc for a lot of these characters so they can close off that phase. And I don't know, maybe if J.J. Abrams had done 1, 2, and 3, or even if you want to go Rian Johnson had done 1, 2, and 3, we would have gotten a more cohesive story. What we got here was one director taking what he liked and leaving what he didn't like on the cutting room floor. And it just felt like we didn't have enough time with some of the events that took place. It felt like Snoke was, for whatever reason, a complete waste of time. I wish we had more time with Kylo Ren's character. I wish we saw more of his journey, even though, like I said, the arc was pretty well completed, and the strength of that goes to Adam Driver's acting. But Rey's story felt rushed, and that's another thing here. We got characters introduced here. For what reason, I don't know, because it doesn't feel it's rushed. They're cool characters. I like these characters. Some of Poe people from Poe's past, they actually seem really interesting and even funny, but we don't get enough to feel any real connection with them. They come out of the blue in the final act. So this is a problem. The Star Wars saga is exactly that. It's like how they try and fail over and over again to fit Dark Phoenix into one movie. You can't do that. Now, Disney, you have 3 movies. You have your trilogy. That's your methodology for these movies. You have 3 films to get the story right, and yet so much feels either rushed or missing. It's such a weird combination. You get some of the stuff you want, but characters that you want to know, well, okay, Finn, like, okay, Finn may be force sensitive. Where did that come from, And yeah, we got hints of it, but it still felt like, it was just thrown in there because, we have to finish this off, you bring in Lando back into things, and it's always cool to see the always suave Billy D. Williams, but it wasn't like we got to really do anything or really learn about what's been going on with him prior to this, So is a mishmash of ideas, and it just feels like they had no real plan structuring this story from beginning to end. Force Awakens, I feel, was a solid footing to start. And then they should have given us development, character development, spend time with these characters, build on their stories, build on the reveals. You don't reveal, you reveal all of Rey's stuff in like the last movie. What is that? So it just, it's a mishmash mess of stuff. And granted, it is a mess. I did enjoy this movie. I'd be lying if I said I didn't. Maybe it's because the actors were giving me their best. Maybe it's because there's some really memorable moments and scenes. Kylo's moments are so emotional, so impactful. Even Rey, like I said, Daisy's doing her best with what she's given, as incomplete as that feels. Maybe it's those reasons. Maybe it's my love of this entire franchise is why I feel like I don't feel like they failed me. Like Phantom Menace was a slog to get through, but even that movie had Darth Maul and it had some really cool moments in it. I just feel like we can be more forgiving with this story, this whole entire saga. And who knows, maybe Disney will stop treating this story like, I don't know if they don't know how to handle it. Maybe they're trying to treat it with a Marvel formula of introducing characters and then they just don't know what to do with them. This is not Marvel. This is something completely different and it has to be handled different. And I really feel like they need to get some input from the people who created these characters. Bring George back. Have a conversation here or there. See what you think works. I'm not saying he has to, God forbid, direct it, but I'm saying that get input from the people who really know these characters and these worlds a little bit more, a little bit deeper. And maybe then we'll finally get a trilogy that would be as memorable and as nostalgic and as awesome as the first trilogy we got. Well, not 1, 2, 3, but 4, 5, 6. You guys know what I'm talking about. With all that said, guys, and all of that to unpack, I'm gonna give Star Wars Rise of the Skywalker a 7 out of 10. I think it's a solid film. I'm not gonna say I didn't like it. I did enjoy it more than I did Last Jedi. Last Jedi had some stuff there that worked for me and a lot of stuff that didn't. Overall, I think it's a 7. I think it's worth watching. And which fan isn't gonna watch these movies anyway? Good, bad, or indifferent, you're gonna watch it. So 7 out of 10. And that's gonna be it for this one, guys. So like I said, I hope you guys are having a wonderful Christmas holiday. I'm actually shooting this unboxing day, trying to get it out before the end of the week. And maybe if I really hate myself, I go and see Cats just to see what that insanity is about. If you guys like this video, please feel free to hit that thumbs up button. It's really appreciated. If you guys want to subscribe to my channel, you can click on my face, of course, right over there, and you can check out past videos right on that side. So until next time, guys, all the best and bye bye.